Hey viewers, this is Rizwan Syed with nrinews24x7.com. I have with me Mr. Ramesh V Kapur, who is the president of US-India Security Council. He is also the co-chair with Biden for President National Finance Committee. Welcome to this conversation, Rameshji. We are really glad to have you here with us today, and thanks for taking the time to being with us for this conversation.
Thank you, Rizwan. It's a pleasure to talk to you
Uh,
again.
the year 2020 has been a year of incidences and victories. We have lots of uncertainties. We've faced the pandemic, and we've also seen some changes happening in the world around us. So, Rameshji, how do you perceive the 2020 journey, and what is your perception of the outlook of 2020?
Well, again, you have to realize United States is a country that's very resilient. Okay, it has had problems earlier on in its history, but it has always bounced back and come out stronger. Right. And so my sense is uh, by September, this COVID-19 will be under control. All right. And once that is under control, I think the economy is ready to zoom and go forward. And I think the unemployment will start going down more and more because the basics about this country is still there. All right. We had a little problems with a little by fluke. Trump became the president. All right. And he tried to bend the democracy over here, but it never broke. All right. And now my the future, I believe, is for the next 16 years the Democrats will control the presidency. And now, yeah, I was worried in a couple of years we might lose the House, but my sense is we will have the House and Senate for a while. And then, of course, my future that I want to see is that the after 12 years, I want to see Kamala Harris, the first Indian American president of the United States. That's when I feel the community has really arrived. We are there, but where our strength comes in, other than we're a small community, 4 million folks, Indian Americans over here, and they're all doing well. But the average man, we want to try to let the average man think highly about us. And that's where India becomes very important because India is critical to United States national security, and that's important. And that will, I think, with the combination of the Indian American, the non-resident Indians over here, Indian Americans over here, I think the future, I believe, is going to be exponential. Biden has already said that he would like to see $500 billion in trade with India. And we are trying to now, with US-India Security Council, trying to change the law by permanently get NATO +6, it's NATO +5 now. India is the sixth country, Japan, South Korea, Australia, New Zealand, and Israel. So once that is done and the law is permanently done, the sky is the limit in terms of the future 2020 relationship. And the economy itself is, and then of course immigration will become easier. Trump has made it difficult, and that is the key to success of America. Has always been the new immigrants that are coming in, and that will open up. And then United States is ready to, go expand again. And this will be a bad chapter. The Trump era will be a bad chapter in the history, and it will be forgotten, and he will be forgotten.
So, Rameshi, with Biden ready to take up as a next president of the United States, what kind of participation do you see of the Indian American community in Biden's administration?
Well, you already look, Neera Tandon, she is at a very top position appointed. If you look at a lot of positions that are there, they're much better positions than they were with Trump administration or even Obama administration. So as time goes on, the community is better known, and of course Kamala Harris, she's the vice president. That will bring charge up our community a lot, and then we will get more of our next generation running for House and Congress and Senate. Of course, we have the presidency now, and we have four Congress folks, and we'll see, and the vice presidency. So the relationship, with Biden administration, he's already pro-India. You see, you have to look at history. Biden, when he was the president, when he was the senator, when Pokhran 1 was exploded, Jimmy Carter was the president, and at that time, in the United States were ready to put sanctions on India, but Jimmy Carter just won by one vote in the Senate. If at that time India had sanctions, they're not strong as they are now. It will really hurt at that time. Now, of course, the Indian diaspora is doing well. The Biden thinks India is critical to United States national security, and but Biden and Jimmy Carter just won one vote, and it was Biden's vote. That's the history. And then again, he has said, and he has publicly said that India is critical. I asked him the question, and he has said it publicly that India is critical to United States national security. Now, it's also India to realize, okay, that yes, they have done foundational agreement which were difficult before because of the trust factor. That has all been done, and now India will have to realize that they have to decide. The days of with the way China is out there with the throat at India's throat for years and years, and India has no choice but to partner with the oldest democracy and the largest democracy. So that's where India will have to make a decision. Obama had already come out early on when he was in India that India Security Council seat we will try to push. But that is not possible because as long as China is there, they will veto it. That's the reality. But what India can expect is a NATO +6, and once that is done, you know what? China will be much more careful. These are not words. These are not sending aircraft carrier. That doesn't mean anything. But when the law is changed, the United States has to support India if it's in a war. And that's the relationship that U.S.-India Security Council is trying to do. We have done it for the last 4 years. We keep moving the ball. And Biden has, I've been in conversation with Tony Blinken when during the campaign. And we will get that done with President Biden's help. And once that is done, okay, that's where security, India will have, economics will never grow if India doesn't have security, okay? Simple, right? And United States can give that security. And it's also important for United States, remember, right? This is United States realizes that they need more partners. And India is a military strength in numbers, and all they need is the technology in the defense area. And also they will get, with this thing, they will get a lot of information, a lot of intelligence, a lot of partnership that will there, what's really that China is what China is up to. And this is where India will have to make the decision. They cannot kick the ball. Of course, one of the areas, of course, human rights is important to the Democrats. They have, and certain parts, friends and spouses disagree with certain things. My wife disagrees with certain things, but the bigger things, the major things, there's the agreement. Yes, there's a concern about CAA, and it's in the Supreme Court, and let them decide, which is what I told Biden that when he asked me how about CAA, so if the Supreme Court decides against it, that's the only little issue that the Biden people have is the CAA, and NRC is on hold anyway, but CAA is a concern because he asked me, and hopefully that will be resolved. And I agree, I agree with President-elect Biden that I think what if they wanted to do the past discrimination, I think what they should have what the Modi administration should have done is just done it to the Hindus and the Sikhs. You can't put everybody, Zoroastrians, Christians, everybody in there and just excludes the Muslims. But Muslims are 14% of the population. They are patriots too. You can't blanket them and saying just because they're Muslims they are not patriots. Okay, and there's issues there. A little bit issues are there. Also, 14% of the Muslims were in the Congress party, and they controlled a lot of power. And that's the key part. It's more what Rizwan is more. It's all everything is power structure. All of a sudden now with the whites losing their strength and the numbers and everything, they're not adapting. Okay. And that's where the resentment is over here. Same thing in India. I think Muslims have to realize that, yes, the power has shifted. So they have to work together in a minority position, and they don't have the control. And I usually say the Darwin's law of theory is that it's never the oldest, it's never the smartest who are going to survive, it's never the strongest that will survive. The ones that are going to adapt are going to survive. Okay, so everybody has to, the whites over here have to realize that you have to adapt. The Muslims in India have to adapt, and the pendulum might swing on one side, but it will swing back. All right, because the history of India, if you look at it, and the culture and everything, that is the strength of India. It's thousands of years of history, and it will balance out. That's what my opinion is. And I look at bigger things. I had predicted early on that Trump was going to be president in January of 2016. I did a fundraiser for Kamala Harris when she was running for the Senate, and sure enough, because I could see the bigger picture, what was happening, and then going back to. Also, I predicted that Biden going to be president. Okay, I've given some interviews. You can look at my interviews, and we'll take the House, and we will have a tie vote in the Senate, and that's exactly what happened. Okay, because I've been doing this U.S.-India relations on the president's level since 1986. Okay, I've been doing the first thing I started with Rajiv Gandhi. Rajiv Gandhi, when he visited India over here. He's the one who got me started in U.S.-India relations. He said, all you Indian Americans are our ambassadors, all right? Okay? And that's what he looked at us as ambassadors, all right? To bridging the India and bridging United States. And at the end of the day, politicians will come and go, but you know what? Mother India and the bald eagle will always survive. And as long as you look at that bigger picture, okay, everything falls in line.
Definitely, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Ramesh, as you said, bridging India and the United States, the two major democracies. What are the blockers that you see right now, or what are the opportunities that need to be explored so that this bridge can be built and can be made sustainable for both sides?
Well, the opportunities now is the NATO +6. I would convince the American side now with Biden and everything to go along. I would like to get the Indian side to decide. Okay, do they want to? They've always come closer, but they've never got over the hump. And same thing with the civil nuclear deal. We would come close until the civil nuclear deal was done. It was moved, and it was George W. Bush who pushed it. There were a lot of resistance in India, as you know. All right, but they pushed it. And then, of course, 86% of the Democrats voted for that bill. And George W. Bush wasn't popular in the Democratic Party. Okay, he's gone to Iraq, and he was a problem. But still, for India, 86% of the folk, 80% of the Democrats voted because nuclear non-proliferation (NPT) was our base. So they voted against their own base. All right.
Absolutely.
So now is the opportunity. Now we've got it on the American side after 4-5 years. I want to make sure the Indian side is doesn't have second thoughts, go backtracks. All right, because if they keep backtracking, we will lose that opportunity. All right, because there are so many other issues are there. If India is not interested, they'll go to other issues. All right. And that's why it's very critical now at the present time when U.S.-India Security Council has got everybody on board, the Democrat and the Republican side. This is a great opportunity for the Indian side, to make the decision, move. We've already moved. Foundational agreement has been done. Everything is done. Now it's that old. Also the problem is the bureaucrats on both sides. Okay, I've dealt with bureaucrats on the American side. Believe me, they are no different. All right. They still have the Cold War mentality, still. Because I have met them for the last 5 years on the American side for passing this law. And my God, I look at them. I say, "What are you in the 50s or 60s or what? This is different." But the people on the leadership position, okay, they want to do it. The bureaucrats are the ones who, and also from the Indian side, they're hot and cold. One year they're hot, second year they're cold, third year they're hot to cold, and you can't do that. You got to be consistent. And when we started this campaign, we talked. Parker was the defense minister at that time, and we had 3 meetings with him. He was our biggest champion, and he saw the vision. Then we met Doval over there. We wanted him on board. He didn't think. He said, "Is it 3% chance or 7% chance?" I said, "We have a 70% chance." And then the following year, we were able to meet also the PM, and we got him on board. The PM made a statement that they're trying to sell us toys. Okay, the defense was toys. They were not getting the latest technology. I said, "It's not that they don't want to sell you the latest thing, because the law is there. Unless we don't change the law, you will get promises, but you will never get the technology that you want." And that's what we are doing. Now what Trump has done is change the law. The STA, they were classified as Strategic Trade Act 2. They were on STA 1. So they can get the latest technology. But the problem is that, that can be changed anytime by the Commerce Department. It's not a permanent. But when the law is changed permanently, that's when we get serious. And that's why China will be much more careful, because they know the law has been changed. I remember General Jacob. We tried to get KK Nair, General Jacob during the civil nuclear deal, and Brigadier General Dayal to come over here to pitch for the civil nuclear deal. Because we wanted to get the Indian Faujis to do it, because we had also got American Faujis to support us. All right. Gold Star wives, the veterans of foreign wars, the Korean War, they came in and they supported the civil nuclear at that time. So we wanted the Indian leadership to come there too. All right. But General Jacob made a comment. He said, during the Bangladesh war, Nixon sent the aircraft carrier, and we were shivering in our boots. He said, "Okay, all right." And he said, the only thing that saved us that we had a defense treaty with Russia. Okay, so that's where so this is what I'm talking about. All right, the NATO +6. I don't think we should have defense treaty with India, because tendencies to get fat and lazy. It depends on somebody else. You got to be independent. But the NATO 6 will give you +6 will give you all the. And it's also important to us, remember, for our kids and our grandkids, because once you do this on a defense relationship, the relationship is good for 50 to 70 years. You cannot change the technology. Look, Russia, they're still stuck with the old technology of Russia, because that's what they had decided. So this will be also, when countries are good, then our kids and our grandkids will be better. So we don't have an average American telling our kids or grandkids, go home where you came from. They were born here. They are citizens over here, right? And that's what it does. It does everything for the 4 million Indian American community, and also for India. It's a win-win situation across the board. So my request is from for Delhi to start making the decision. Okay, all right. And that's it. It's instead of being indecisive. The worst thing is to be indecisive at the present time, the way the world is. Okay.
Well, thank you very much for being with us here today, Rameshji. And we really hope that Delhi is able to see your vision and look at getting with US for collaborating for defenses and other collaborative opportunities that the two democracies could work together on. And definitely start building the bridge so that US and India can work on new ties and a new relationship in 2021 and ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Rizwan. Thank you for giving me time. And I hope, the reporters cover more and more. So then the Delhi realizes that there's more momentum over here. And then the worst thing is to indecision is the worst decision at the present time.